Hello everybody and welcome back to Mastering Avantra. Today's topic is all about machine learning based predictive analytics that are now available in Avantra 21.11 and above for Enterprise Edition customers. In this session today, I'm going to show you where you can find a little bit more about this feature and also show you what this feature looks like in the system. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I want to show you our standard docs.avantra.com website, which you should all be familiar with if you're getting started with Avantra. Now, under concepts and under basic concepts, you'll find this new section over here on the right called ML-based predictive analytics. And this is where you'll get a brief description over what we're trying to achieve with machine learning-based predictive analytics. And it's really about trying to get away from these spiky or bursty or flapping monitoring situations where things are just going over a threshold, but actually in reality it's not that unexpected. So you can find out more information about how we're doing it and the purposes behind it. And you'll also get links to the first set of predictive analytics based on machine learning that are available in Avantra 21.11 and above. So the first two we're going to look at are CPU load, and for the HANA database, CPU load as well. So let's jump over to a system and I'll show you these within the system. So first of all, I'll show you a server. So this server is in one of our systems here. It's a SUSE 12.4 system. And if I go under checks and I go to CPU load, you'll now see that there's a slight difference in how we view this check. So the first thing we get is our standard of average CPU usage with 13.23% during the last 10 minutes. And that's the way this check is set up. But we now also have this new tab here called Predictive Analytics. And this is where we can start to see exactly what the system saw versus what was predicted. So we see here that, for example, we're looking at the full. Let's look at a little bit more recent. So now let's look at today, so the 7th of December. So 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and so on and so forth, up until right now. And I'm recording this at about 11:30 on the 7th of December. And we can see here there's a little shift. So we're shifting from actual CPU usage to forecasted CPU usage. And this is where the predictive analytics are starting to say, hey, based on the previous usage over the data that we have over the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, what do we typically see as usage for this system? And so it's able to monitor based on what's actually happening versus what was expected to happen. And this is how it starts to then dynamically adjust the thresholds and say, you know what, if we saw a spike here over, for example, we saw a spike there a few days ago, if that spike had hit warning, and if it was expected, then an alert would be suppressed. But if, for example, it went on the warning or the critical threshold and it wasn't expected, guess what? That's when an alert will be triggered. So that's the standard CPU load, and you can start to play with this and you can drill in like this and go into quite a lot of detail and see exactly what happened when. If I pop over to this SAP system over here, piv_xan, you'll see under checks, and this is a HANA-based system, I've just filtered on CPU over here, the HDB CPU load now has a very similar feature. So if you go into predictive analytics, you get to see, okay, here's the full set of predictive analytics, and we can start to see what happened when did it go over the warning threshold, how far over the warning threshold did it go, etc., etc. So you do get this nice new machine learning based predictive analytics provided in Avantra 21.11. So that's it. That's predictive analytics as delivered in 21.11.0. There's a lot more to come in this space, and if you want to learn more about our roadmap, please do check out my session with Heiko Manhertz, our Chief Innovation Officer, where he covers exactly where we're going to be going with this feature over the next 12, 18, 24 months. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon.